first judge to make sure that the screen is big enough. Just a smidgen. Small, easy fixes, easy. There we go. Alrighty. Hello, people of the internet. First up, happy Thanksgiving, but second off, welcome back to Fate Grand Order, where tonight we will be taking on Lostbelt number 3, the Synchronized Intellect Nation Sin, the Crimson Beauty, Under the Moon. As you can tell by the background around me, I've changed the background up to celebrate Sin, and we have 4 key figures. We have Akuta Hinako, the cryptor that is in charge of this chapter. Next up is the one I'm told is her servant, the Prince of Landling, I think is the pronunciation. Then we have the Mothman. I've been told his name before, but his meme is the Mothman, so I'm going with the meme bit. He is the Mothman. And last but not least, we have the man who stole the show of the trailer for this Lostbelt, Spartacus himself. No idea how big of a role he's going to play, but you know what? Spartacus stole that show, so he has made his way to the channel background for Twitch. But yes, the new Lostbelt has been out for, I think, only 12 hours at this point. I know there was long maintenance memes, so I don't know how long it went on, but we'll find out. For that, though, there is just a little bit of news here. So, campaign summary, just prepare for the release of it, pre-release campaign, master missions. If you complete Got Her Demo wrong, you get 10 quartz, and various fruits are available throughout the release dates. Main quest part 2 and 1 half AP cost. Main quest part 1 is 1/4 cost. That's not permanent. I could have swore that was permanent. Part 2, Chapter 2, Request AP is at half cost. And that's that. Next is the pickup summon for this. So we have 5-star Jiang Yu, 4-star Prince of Landling, and 4-star Qin Liang Yu. Plus Zhang Qi will also be featured. Liang Ling and Liang Yu will be on rotation, and the 5-star and 3-star, and then there's some CEs. I'm not going to be rolling on this banner, sadly, and I'm not going to go over the servants either, since we did get to see their NPs in the live stream that they showed, so no real need for that. So that is that, and then finally, the most important thing. New chapter, part 2, chapter 3, Lostbelt 3, the Synchronized Intellect Nation Sin, the Crimson Beauty, Under the Moon. Shortly after Chaldea settles in at their new base, an assassin strikes, attempting to poison members of their group. In a desperate bid to save the lives of the assassins' would-be victims, Chaldea makes its way to the third Lostbelt, hoping to find an antidote. They arrive in a land of eternal peace brought on by the end of all conflict between nations. This land knows no struggles, no tragedy, no fragility. A truly idyllic world. Time passes gently, and the people live comfortable lives. And yet... So it is here. Begins amidst vast wheat fields where a great wall hangs in the sky overhead. You can't really see the wall, but you can see a lot of wheat on this map. A lot of wheat. Good lord, that's a lot of wheat. Complete 3 prologue. You do not need to clear the pseudo-singularities. The trailer's been out for a little while. Akuta Hinako, a female mage who is invited to Chaldea as a visiting scholar. She is taciturn and aloof, but not necessarily a bad person. Her quietish, bookwormish persona is her way of making it abundantly clear she does not wish to get involved with anyone. She keeps her distance even from the other cryptors, but in truth... ... So she's got some sort of big secret. She's a cutie, I will admit that. There is some new skill enhancement and ascension materials available in this one. The Reactor Core of Dawn, a reactor core that shines brightly as the morning sun. The mysteries of its technology are based on sage techniques that can be explained neither by modern magecraft nor science. I read that backwards, but still the same thing. And the Soundless Bell, an enchanted bell. Made using the techniques of the sages, the sound it makes when it's rung is inaudible. It has a soothing effect and can also control tractable animals such as horses. Interesting. The big thing, though, is servant bond level limit raise up to 15. So the Lanterns of Chaldea have been added to the game, allowing you to raise the servant's bond level limit. To commemorate, 1 Lantern of Chaldea will be added to the Exchange Mana Prism shops in Da Vinci's shop. Hey, Wobbuffet, congratulations on getting the Prince of Lounling, and welcome to the stream. How be things? Lantern that can light the way to improbable miracles. It is said that it can exceed even the limits set in place by the throne itself, but only at the observatory that oversees humanity. That's good to hear, man. That is good to hear. How goes Babylonia? I know that you were working on quests, and I saw that you beat her, but how goes the rest of it? So it is 1 mana prism to get this. It lets you raise it 1 level at a time, so you need 5 of them in order to get all the way to bond 15. Every bond above level 11 will get you 30 Sync Quartz for each hit. The 4th gate of Kerr. You're making some good progress, man. I'm guessing you're mainly doing it so that you can get to the Christmas event this year. You want Samba Santa. And then just some more about Sin being released. So, we're gonna real quickly here go to the Master Missions. I've been kind of slacking. But the Thanksgiving special ones, 7 days left. Each one does get you the Boar King Craft Essence. Nice Rio 1. And I've already got one because I claimed one early. Arteria Pendragon and Piglets. The relationship between these two used to be one of predator and prey, but after a long and deep conversation, they've come to an amicable understanding with each other. Blech. Getting tongue-tied here. Oh, preparing for Nemo in 2 years. Gotcha. Yeah, each one gets you one of these, as well as a single piece of each type. Like I said, I have been a little bit slacking. I haven't really been doing the Ember Gathering, so I still have to do 2 of those, but I'll be able to get all these done. And then we also get the Disillusion Blossom's Command Seal. Remove 1 attack buff on a single enemy, recover 100 HP when attacking with the engraved card. The magical seal mark of the Star and Master bears the image of a flower that represents the spring. This is Sakura's Command Seal, I believe. He's a story servant. You'll save the Sync Quartz to get him on that banner. I believe in you, Wobbuffet, I believe. I'm surprised you're not saving for Van Gogh in 2 years, though, man. But then there's the various rewards. 4 Apollo apples, 8 Apollo quartz, so that means I think it went, what, 5 hours beyond? So it was a 5-hour extended maintenance. So yeah, the Lostbelt's only been out for like 12 hours or so then. We get the rare prisms for gathering Santa, Attila the Santa. And then Lostbelt. And then more maintenance, quartz and apples, more Lostbelt stuff. And last but not least, a weekly login for the theatrical release, The Seed of Thorns. Features Sakura, Rin, Medusa, and a little bit of Shiro there. Just a very small bit. Only his arm. They wanted to save, they wanted to be saved, they thought they should be saved. This wish was made even knowing it could only be granted by the sacrifice of many lives, the shedding of many tears. But yes, that is all that is that. I'm not going to bother with the blazes or leveling up, because that will just take some time. So, instead, I will get a quick drink here, and we will finally start the Lostbelt number 3. I'm not going to read the name, because I've read it like 5 times already this stream, so let us begin. Prologue. We've already done the prologue, damn it. Into the Storm. Only one part, so I'm not really sure what I'll tag this on to when it comes to videos, but oh, we don't get the whole sequence. We still get the cool animation, though, of the Shadow Border travel, but emerging from long distance zero sail now. Well, we nailed the positioning. I can see the supercell surrounding this Lostbelt 1,000 meters straight ahead. Oh! Impressive. Even if this precision is only possible when embarking from the Wandering Sea, it is quite something to behold. What's more, Miss Sion tells me that we can expect this level of precision anywhere except the North and South Poles. Unfortunately, we may have been a little too precise. At this distance, our only choice is to head straight into the storm wall immediately. Mr. Gordolf, how are you? It would seem his fear of the poison has more or less overwhelmed him. He will not be of much use for the time being. How about you, Mr. Soul? Are you ready for this next phase? Yeah, I mean, it's fine. I'm just suffering a little bit of poisoning. MASH is keeping me alive, you know? Good. Miss Seattle was kind enough to make some improvements to your Mr. Code. It should be a good deal more useful now, both in keeping you alive and aiding in your performance as a master. I'll explain more once we arrive in the Lostbelt, but... Yes, Miss Carolite, is something the matter? Wait, are we getting a new Mr. Code here? If so, awesome. Oh, no, it's nothing. I'm good to go as well. I did feel the same warmth during that last Zero sale I did in Scandinavia, but... Okay, guys, that's enough. Ready or not, we're embarking on another Zero sale. We don't want to burn the border's fuel unless we really have to, so I'm going to take advantage of the inertia we got by launching from the Wandering Sea. We'll be emerging inside the Lostbelt without anyone to get anything to guide us, just like we did in Scandinavia. Oh, well, what's this now? Good news, Gordy. It looks like Koyan's inside the Chinese Lostbelt, too.
She is. Are you sure about that, Da Vinci?
Yeah, I got a pretty solid sample of her data yesterday, so there's no mistaking it. Now we can kill two birds with one stone.
Da Vinci has a very vicious-looking smile there. Like, you can feel the viciousness in it.
Not only will this greatly improve our odds of emerging from void space, we can also ask her about an antidote once we capture her. Minier, set the anchor point from the hypothetical living human to Kion Sakaya.
Got it, but man, as if I didn't already have my hands full with this driving this thing. Damn it, just when I could have used this old maid's help.
You know, she might have an antidote. That is a good point. She might just have an antidote.
Very well then, in light of this new information, I believe a new course of action is in order. We should cancel our search for Jian Shai Ming Ma in favor of capturing Koyan Sakaya. That would be a much surer way of neutralizing the poison Gordolphin's soul consumed, and it will be one less threat to our future endeavors. As for the crypto and the Treaty of Emptiness, our goals there would remain unchanged. We find and restrain the former and cut down the latter. Would that be acceptable to you, Director?
Yes, of course, that sounds great. Indeed, there's no time to be trembling in fright. No more, Mr. Nice Guy. Tamamovich Koyanskaya. The next time we meet, I'll sue pay it for everything you've done.
Foo-foo! Hey now, don't get too ahead of yourself, Gordy. We still have to capture her first, remember? And even if we succeed at that, it won't amount to anything if we can't make her tell us where to find her, or how to make the antidote.
Understood. I will hold back. However, I will not show her mercy. We should, at least, berate her, right, after capturing her. It is best if we beat this villain, so that she can, never again, stand up or engage in any evil schemes. China is my home. Lostbelt or not, its air and land should remain the same. As such, I should have no trouble defeating this demon.
Okay, it's gonna be annoying talking with Nezha's dialect for a while, so... Oh boy.
Thank you, Nezha. It's great to have your help.
Alright, we're now only 400 meters away from the storm wall. Do it, Da Vinci. No, Outlaw, I'm not gonna be rolling, I think. While the Dark Souls boss-looking centaur man does slightly interest me, I'm pretty sure he can be summoned at any time, so I'm not gonna be rolling here. That, and I don't really have the, quartz or the motivation after Synchronized's devastating defeat of me. He's your uncle. Okay, so he could spook me. Why did... That was weird. That was weird that Reflector just randomly popped up. You got Ivan. Nice. Congratulations, Outlaw. Congratulations. That's one of the Lostbelt Kings down. Do you have Scotty, and are you going for the Mothman who is here?
Expanding logic formula on Shadow Border's external armor. Removing existence verification for reality space. Future prediction. Hypothetically proven mirror world. Playing in 20 seconds. Relaxing space-time friction decompression for 0.4 seconds. All systems are green. Void Space C observations remain locked to previous results. Shadow border untethered from reality. Void Space drive. Zero sail. Unfurl once again.
Nice. How far are you in the Lostbelt, if you don't mind me asking? Have you already beaten it? And is that indicative that this is a shorter Lostbelt? Or something? Not that I kind of want it to be short, but I don't know. Lostbelt Depth E. So, they didn't really explain if it's bigger letters or smaller letters. Or earlier letters in the alphabet or later letters in the alphabet that makes it better or worse. You haven't started yet? Well, yeah, there's gonna be some spoilers here, just so you know. But that's kind of obvious saying is obvious. And the background looks very familiar. Very, very familiar, but yeah. So the seeding point. A very interesting turn of phrase. Saber are... Okay. I was going to say, if it was locking me to Nezha only against frickin' sabers, I was gonna be pissed. But no, we get Mashu, and that makes all the difference. So we will throw upon Mashu the gloriously glorious maxed out CE of Golden Sumo. And so much for getting a new Mystic Code. You know, it just realized, or it just kind of occurred to me, the people that don't level up Mashu are going to have a lot harder time on this than others. Because I know there's a lot of high-level players that only have, like, low-level Mashus for some reason. They're going to have hell here if it's a hard node. You say you thought you had a dream. That must have been some kind of sign. And that absurd reasoning has you drinking poison from a chalice. So you think it's foolish too, huh? My wife said the same thing. His Imperial Majesty himself gave me this poison. All I need to do is drain it in a single gulp, and I will displease him no more. I have slain too many for one in my position. You might say I've outlived my usefulness. I don't understand. None of this would have happened if not for how petty the Emperor is. How can you be willing to lay down your life for a man like that? You may not see any sense in it, but this is simply what it means to be a warrior. Once I heard you were going to die, I had to come and ask you. Say the word, and I will see everyone who toyed with your destiny, who forces hollow loyalty upon you, drown in a sea of their own blood. I'm honored you're so angry on my behalf. It's more than I deserve, and I will admit that I do have my share of regrets. But at this point, I've truly come to believe this is a fitting end to the life of Gao Shenggong. The names here are probably going to be butchered, as well, just as a word of warning. But that is definitely the Prince Lanling. I don't understand, the way you talk of life and death makes no much sense whatsoever. But then I suppose I could never understand, as death is a concept that's never had a meaning to me. Ah yes, that's true, isn't it? Perhaps if anything, I should be the one begging you for forgiveness. After all, the peace I will attain in death will forever be beyond your reach. Perhaps I'm jealous of your death and of your brilliance, and the brilliance of your life leading up to it. You are too kind, I assure you. I know no more of death's secrets than you do. Even should I learn them now, they will soon be lost in the darkness. Do you have any last wishes? Good question. If I could wish for something beyond my own death, it'd be to see you again. To someday see you again. Yeah. I suppose such a wish must sound completely absurd. Not necessarily. I've seen the likes of you shatter more daunting barriers. I've seen them tame lightning, cure plagues, and even change the course of rivers. I cannot say how long it will take, but eventually the day may come when those bound by mortal lives learn to reach beyond even death. Should such a day come to pass, and if I'm lucky enough to be there to see it, then I shall recall your final wish. Well, you don't know how happy I am to hear that. In all my 33 years of life, there is nothing more treasured than the presence of... Wow. That's kind of... there's a word for that. That's kind of sad that 33 years he's taken his own life because he's taken so many others. The Prince of Lanling did not live a very long life. And I do wonder who he's talking to. There is that Lancer... I can't remember her name. I know that Sakura's voice actress, or Seiyu, I think is the proper pronunciation, voices her. But I can't remember the name. Maybe that's who? Yeah. Oh, are we gonna fight against the Prince of Landling in this first node? Please tell me he's not gonna be stupidly powerful. Please. Reality space anchor attached. Reality verification complete. Proper human history resemblance. A Lostbelt. Depth E. Establishing Shadow Border's existence within Lostbelt. Zero seal return successful. I'm glad we had another emergence that went so smoothly. How are you feeling, Senpai? I know the poison isn't causing you any pain right now, but I also heard you're not feeling entirely yourself. Just a little short of breath. I mean, it's that time of the year, you know, people catch colds.
So cold symptoms are the worst of it for you, are they? Must be nice. I'll have you know I used to have asthma when I was a young lad. But after I read the memoirs of a great bodybuilder, actor, and politician who suffered from the same disease, I followed his example and overcame it with rigorous training. Though, sadly, I don't have his muscle to show for it.
But... wait. He read the memoirs of Arnold Schwarzenegger, didn't he? Because bodybuilder, actor, politician... I don't know if he ever had asthma, but I'm feeling he's making reference to Arnold Schwarzenegger here. Master has COVID. Okay, everybody guessed. Well, no. Wait. Is that what the poison actually is? It did originate in China. That's kind of in bad taste, but also I'm wondering if maybe it's a prediction for if JP predicted the future and Clairvoyance EX is a legitimate thing, except the creators of the game have it. So then the next thing we need to worry about is the moon crashing to the Earth. Because I know that much about the fourth Lostbelt, is that the moon cell has somehow made its way to Earth. So that means within the next year the moon is going to crash onto the Earth. That's kind of not reassuring.
My point, young man, is that all you need is gumption. There is no time to let your fears get the better of you.
I must say, it's almost encouraging to see our commander so energetic despite his poisoning.
Yep, we still got plenty of time to find a cure, and Gordy's a mage, so he's pretty well accustomed to dire threats like this. Now, let's see what things look like outside. 18 degrees Celsius, 30% humidity, gentle breeze, no unusual magical energy readings.
18 degrees Celsius. That is... how warm in American? 64.4. It's nice. That's nice weather. 64 degrees, that's pretty nice. I'm looking out the window right now, and it looks like a field. I gotta say, I'm almost creeped out by how normal it seems here compared to the other two Lostbelts. I'm not quite sure what to make of it. What I make of it is, finally no more freaking snow! Good lord, the first two Lostbelts, they were gorgeous, but the amount of... and they had great stories, but the amount of snow was just, like... blinding with how much white there was. Although, gold isn't really too much better, but I stand beside the fact.
Are there any hostiles outside?
Not according to our instruments. Since it looks like it's safe, why don't we all go out and see for ourselves?
The Chinese Lostbelt.
Latitude and longitude don't lie. We're standing right at 32 degrees, 40 degrees north, 110 degrees, 50...
wait.
32 degrees, 40 feet north, 110 degrees, 50 feet east. In proper human history, this would be Xi'an, a major city with a population of 3.4 million people. Well, this is certainly not a city, but it
doesn't look like untamed wilderness either.
Perhaps it is a wheat field or the like. Admittedly, it would be an extraordinary large one.
I recognize the smell and the air here. This is my homeland. And yet, I have no memory of this strange landscape. How confusing and depressing. It seems I am useless as a guide for you, after all.
Hey, don't worry about it. All bets are off when it comes to Lostbelt. Besides, we have a much bigger world for you to play with than just a guide. For the moment, I've picked up a ley line only a kilometer or so away from here. Between that and how surprisingly safe this area looks, I'd say we're off to a pretty good start. Now, what do you say we take the shadow border over to the ley line and set up a summoning circle?
Got it. I'll go warm up the engine then. You can never be too prepared for combat in these Lostbelts.
So that must be why we're restricted to just Nezha and Mashu, because we don't get to set up the ley line.
Okay, the ley line's right around that wall. Go ahead and park it here.
Hello, mysterious Grim Reaper. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. It's been not too long, I feel. But how be things, how be things? Ooh, that was my thumb.
It certainly doesn't look like a dangerous area, but something feels off. True, if anything, it's too peaceful. And considering how expansive this farmland is, it's weird that we haven't seen a single piece of agricultural machinery. The buildings here just seem a little too crude, too. Yeah, I've never seen anything quite like them before, though I guess you could say they kind of look like collective housing.
Hey, same here, same here. At the very beginnings, and it's looking like it's probably going to be an interesting start with the restricted formation. I feel sorry for those that did not level up their Mashus. Welcome to the rice fields. Oh, right. You're right, it could be rice and not grain, and not wheat. Good lord, why didn't I think of it as rice? I'm silly. You're near the end of it. Wow, impressive. Have you been playing it straight since it came out, or have you been taking breaks in between, out of curiosity at least?
That's right, although I'm not sure building is the right word for that, structure. All that ground they leveled and they're still living in holes, it's like something out of the Stone Age. Maybe civilization never really developed in this world. Oh, there's some people headed this way. Shall we try talking to them?
Yes, but do be careful. I doubt they pose any threat to us, but we cannot afford to be seen as a threat either. Who the hell are these people, and what are they doing in our field?
They look at their weird clothes. Do you think they might be foreigners?
Foreigners here? Does that mean they came from that strange storm, then? Hurry up and call the supervisor. Maybe he'll know what to do. With some breaks? Okay, so it's not a 12-hour journey, then?
Phew, fall!
At least the translator seemed to be working fine.
I was gonna say, how the heck are we understanding what they're saying? Thank you for developing translators for us.
According to our linguistic analysis, they're speaking Middle Chinese, a language that predates the Song Dynasty.
Conversation is a good starting point. However, we have frightened them. This pattern is not good.
Hey, did you see do you really see foreigners? Yeah, they're right over there. See for yourself, supervisor. They just popped up in my field out of nowhere. They were riding around that weird box. They wear really strange clothes, and I think they've got weapons too.
Aw, crap, I don't like where this is going. Soul, help us out here before things turn violent. Tell him this is all just a big honest understanding. If Holmes tries to explain it, he'll just make things worse.
Monier, harem protagonist EX does not work like that, dude. Then what's wrong with my explanations? Let's see. We mean no harm. Ah, he talked. If you don't mean any harm, then why'd you show up in the middle of the field dressed like that? Did they think we couldn't talk? So 4 more sections. How many sections is this, out of curiosity? Go on, supervisor, get rid of them for us before they ruin any more wheat. Oh, it is wheat, not rice. That's odd in and of itself, I think. You got it.
They've all taken up weapons. Now we...
Delicious drink. 16, you're on 12. Okay, that is good to know, good to know. Hey, Jakester, welcome to the stream, and thank you for that hosting. It is much appreciated. So 16 sections total. That's not bad, actually. That's actually fairly short, I feel. Fo. Lurking, you don't want to be spoiled. Fair enough, man. Fair enough. Still, thanks for the host. And, you know, lurking is better than, you know, not being there. It's always appreciated.
It seems as though rather bare bones lifestyles not lent itself to open minds. I'm afraid we'll need to pacify them before we can begin negotiations.
Will do, man, will do. And you enjoy your Lostbelt 3 journey as well when you get around to it. Yeah, it's not really time for detached analysis, Holmes. Can't you use charm on them or something?
I think Gordy's the only one of us who can use charm spells. Well, he says he can anyways. And even if he's telling the truth, he's still comfortably holed up inside the border right now.
It'd be best to summon a servant with powerful innate charm skill, but that would require access to a ley line, which we don't have. It would seem we cannot avoid this battle. Fortunately, our opponents should be willing to listen once they get this out of their system. Well, this would be an ideal situation for Marvel too. I'm afraid I'll have to sit this one out.
Thank you for that, Grimmer. Thank you. I don't tend to like the spoils myself. I like to experience it all firsthand, I'm sure you know. For yourself, how enjoyable it is to be surprised by all the story and plot points.
Alright, you still haven't fully recovered yet. Guess we got no choice then.
Okay, Sherlock looks fully recovered. I know that he had, like, half of his body destroyed. But, you know, he's clearly doing better now. Like, I can't see that weird little core thing inside of him anymore.
Mash, Nessa, go ahead and fight them if that's what they want. Just make sure not to harm any of them.
Understood. I also would like to avoid excessive force. I will be careful.
Yes, we'll do as the great gentlemen do. In the true spirit of Urtsu.
You know, how great would that be if Holmes taught Mash Baritsu and it, like, it was the contributing factor to make her a 5-star. Okay, this is not going to be hard at all. I was worried for nothing. BAQ. Rural expat. What is an expat? Hey, that's the main reason why I don't play JP, because I would understand jack diddly squat of what's going on. You know? And I play for the story, so... Moon rings, indeed. They are a trick I have not yet mastered. Although I have I'm pretty sure I've said it before, but I have debated trying to learn to, at the very least, read Japanese. But I have absolutely no idea how difficult that would be. Absolutely zero. But it has always been something on my mind, you know? I mean, it's a decent language to learn as far as languages go. Oh, I see. So you got in a fight almost the instant you left the border.
Yes, I'm afraid we ended up in a standoff with the locals. At least we got them to back down for now.
All thanks to you and your Nessa's efforts not to harm them, they do appear to understand that our intentions are not violent now. They're currently monitoring us from what I suppose they consider a safe distance. It seems they have their own responsibilities to tend to.
So in other words, not using a command seal and nuking them with Nessa's NP was a good idea. Yeah.
Correct. No signs of reinforcements. We are safe for the moment.
I see. So I managed to avoid provoking them. I'm relieved to hear they're sharp enough to realize we're only lost travelers trying to get our bearings. Although, what about the servants? You said we can summon more once we use the ley line, right?
Da Vinci's outside preparing a summoning circle right now. I think she's run into some kind of trouble, though. Hey guys, I'm setting everything up right now. Just give me a minute to work out the kinks. Sure, I ran into a little trouble, but don't worry. It's the kind I'm used to.
Hey, Da Vinci, are you sure it's okay to hook this weird machine up to Mash's shield? It looks super shady. In fact, it doesn't even look like it was made on Earth.
Alright, that's the booster Sion let me. Get this, a single one lets you manifest a spirit origin equivalent to 3 servants. She called it a, whatchamacallit cell. Well, unfortunately, these spells aren't burned out after a single use, but we're not going to be stingy with Soul and Gordy's lives at stake. Alright, now we just stand by in base state.
Hey, J6, welcome to the stream. How be things,
As soon as we get a response from the side, I'll kick it to its excited state so we can start the summoning.
Is it really a whatchamacallit cell, though? If so, that is one of the most creative names there could be.
There we go. Now it's just a matter of time. And as long as the servant has some connection to you, Soul, I'm sure they'll answer the summon, Lostbelt or not.
I see. Well done, technical advisor, in that case. You can start by summoning a skilled caster capable of brainwashing these barbarians en masse. This is an emergency, an urgent one at that. We need to start making progress post-haste.
Foo-foo! Let's see, mass brainwashing. Caster with mass brainwashing. Cersei could turn them all into pigs. I don't think we've got a caster capable of mass brainwashing. At least none that appear off the top of my noodle. I think Anshin, who Kiyohime thinks we are, technically brainwashes all females. But except for Kyo and Mash, from what I remember reading. But I don't think we have a brainwashing caster. Not that I can think of anyways. Can anybody think of any brainwashing caster class servants we might have? I obviously might be missing some.
Fo-fo! Are you alright with that course of action, Mr. Soul?
Easy there. Just take it easy, man.
Calm down. How can I calm down when I will be dead in a matter of days? And have you forgotten this concerns you, too?
Regardless, this summoning will take time. It would be in our best interest to negotiate while that proceeds. Sometimes, Mr. Gorloff, there is something to be said for not letting sleeping dogs lie.
Alright then, who's going to lead these amicable negotiations? Soul already tried and failed, remember? Where are we going to find an angel with a smile shrewd enough to win over these barbaric...
Oh, Da Vinci. Lolly Da Vinci is... Okay, you know what? Yes, she could work. She definitely has that cherub. Cherub? What's the proper pronunciation? 5 down.
That's right. We're just poor hapless travelers who lost our way.
Oh, you poor thing. You must have been so hard.
Wait, did I read that right? That must have been so hard, not you must... Good lord. My reading comprehension skills are off the charts, clearly.
We didn't mean to ruin your field, I promise. Do you think you could forgive us?
Oh, don't worry about that. We can always till it again. Hell, just getting to talk to such a pretty girl as you kind of makes me want to till the field again more than ever.
But then she really is a force to be reckoned with, isn't she? She's not technically lying, but she's not exactly being truthful either.
Demon with the face of an angel? That's Da Vinci for ya.
Just look at those men falling all over themselves. That outsider's got them twisted around her little finger. How can they possibly trust any of these foreigners after the beating they give the poor supervisors?
I do beg your pardon about that, madame. Please allow me to apologize for trampling on your fields as well. I only hope you can believe me when I say that we truly do want nothing more than to resolve this matter peacefully.
Look at that Sherlock expression. Sherlock trying to be a charming, suave gentleman.
Unfortunately, the truth is that we have lost our way and are uncertain as to where we are. I'm so terribly sorry to impose, but could you please tell us about this place? You are our only hope.
We are? Well, then I suppose we ought to step up. True. If a man this handsome needs our help, then the least we can do is hear him out, right?
Oh, that might be a caster with mass brainwashing abilities. Female Merlin, of course. We just need to cross the boundaries between mobile and arcade. Yeah, get up. Like, they're not questioning that?
Agreed. I do not know why. We fought earlier.
I messed that pronunciation up.
Well, the important thing is we reached a peaceful resolution.
And it looks like we were all just scared more than malicious. They seem to be good people at heart. Okay, but why are they running around in the middle of the night?
By the way, Da Vinci, what was that trouble you ran into with the Spirit Origin Graph earlier?
An excellent question, Holmes. Glad to see you're paying attention to the important bits.
What? I thought you already resolved the issue with summoning his servants.
And less resolved and more worked around, I still don't know what the problem really was. This Lostbelt's nothing like either Russia or Scandinavia. I tried using the ley line here to connect to this Lostbelt's Throne of Heroes, but I didn't get any response.
None whatsoever.
There was nothing wrong with the equipment, so whatever the problem is, it has something to do with this world. Granted, the odds were always low that a heroic spirit from this Lostbelt was going to be eager to help us, so I wasn't counting on that. But it's still odd that there'd be no answer at all, right, Holmes?
Indeed.
So I just dropped that idea and switched back to trying to summon from Chaldea's Spirit Origin Graph. Now, we're just waiting for a heroic spirit to respond to our call. In fishing terms, we baited our hook and cast our line. All there is for us now is to be patient. What could be going on, Senpai?
Ooh, that's kind of ominous.
Honestly, even though my genius once again carried the day, I really don't know what happened there. Fo-fo! What I do know is that the connection to the Throne of Heroes is just that, a connection, and it doesn't exist in this Lostbelt's ley line. It could also mean that our definition of what a heroic spirit is doesn't match to this Lostbelt's.
Definition of heroic spirit.
And what exactly do you mean by that?
This is a fascinating phenomenon, one that is no doubt gets to the heart of the Lostbelt's true nature. But right now we have nothing more than speculation. We'll need to collect more evidence before we can begin drawing any conclusions.
Oh, that sounds to me like you already have a pretty good idea of what's going on, Holmes.
I do have a hypothesis, but a good detective only shares their deductions once they are supported by clear and undeniable evidence.
In other words, Holmes is going to wait until the opportune moment to say everything, as he always does. Still formation restricted, but it is at the very least a Lancer this time. So neutral damage. Clean air. I really wouldn't know the difference, personally. I mean, I probably would. Because I don't think... Gosh, when was the last time I was... The last time I was really out in nature and, like, away from everything was probably when I went to camp when I was in 6th grade. So that's... 10... 14... 16 years ago? Yeah, 16 years since the last time I actually had major nature, less technology things. It's been a while.
It is, isn't it? It feels like forever since I was last able to breathe this easily. Since in the other Lostbelts, the border was the only safe place we could go. Oh, I almost forgot we have the Chaldea base now, too. Anyway, being surrounded by a natural landscape like this really feels like... Huh? What's that up in the sky above us, Senpai?
Yeah, okay, yeah, I see that, Lilster.
I didn't notice it during the night, but that's definitely strange, right? I guess it must be normal here, since none of the locals seem to be talking or taking any notice of it. But she still has them all practically enthralled. So hey, what's the name of this era?
Era? What's that?
Oh, I was mostly just wondering what year it was.
Well, I'm turning 22 this year. We all start working when we turn 5, and I've planted these fields 17 times now, so that adds up, right?
Thanks, I was thinking more along the lines of a calendar, though. It's time to plant the seeds and harvest the last crops, of course. You can tell by the moon, you see.
Let's try this then. Who's the foremost leader in the world right now?
Why, that'd be the most glorious and majestic heavenly emperor, of course.
And what is this emperor's name?
Name? Why, the most glorious and majestic heavenly emperor, of course. You might as well ask what the sun and moon are called. The name's right there.
Somebody, I think, has a bit of an ego here. Most glorious and majestic heavenly emperor. That's totally not egotistical in the slightest.
Well, where might you find this emperor then?
In the capital, where else?
And where's that?
They say it's way, way off in that direction.
Have you ever been there?
Me, why would I ever go there? We only worship from afar with gratitude. None of us would exist without the most glorious and majestic Heavenly Emperor's blessing, after all.
Huh?
What's up, Mash?
Senpai, do you smell that?
Are you talking about my Educalo? I did switch to my more wild American brand after we got here.
No, I don't mean that. It's less of a human scent and more beastly.
This presence, no mistake. Bloodthirsty creatures are headed this way.
What is that thing? Oh, there's another one over there.
What? Those are Krishat, like we saw in Russia. What are they doing here?
We can figure that out later, Da Vinci. Right now we need to evacuate the villagers. Wait.
How is there Russian lost? We destroyed the Russian Lostbelt. So, how are these? And based on the prologue, Kadak is in Olympus. So, he couldn't have brought these to this Lostbelt. How are these here? Sparty's MVP. No spoilers, please. No spoilers. I mean, he's the MVP of the trailer. I will say that much. He's MVP of that trailer with him flying up into the sky. Oh, I hope he says his mighty and majestic words once again. I hope he says it once more. Ah, that's what you meant. Fair enough, fair enough. Yeah, what are these tree shots? Ah, you have yet to touch the story. Fair enough, fair enough, fair... Excuse me, enough. NP? Oh, 10% off. Come on, Nezha. Well, spoilers. He'll become very important later on. Interesting. I look forward to seeing how he becomes important. I very much look forward to that. I'm probably not going to need Nezha's NP either here. Maybe. Nope. I won't need it, but then again, there is the phrase, there's no kill like overkill. And I very much subscribe to that phrase. So, let us see that phrase through. There is no kill like overkill. Also kind of occurred to me, this one might be a little bit more difficult without a leveled it Mashu. You been playing Pokemon? Oh, nice. Which Pokemon have you been playing out of curiosity? Most recent Sword and Shield, which has DLCs that I still have yet to purchase because I've been getting sucked into various other things. Ah, fan-made one. I've heard of the fan-made ones. Like, I know Pokemon Uranium, I think, got issued a shutdown order, a takedown order or something by Nintendo. But I haven't heard of, like, any other fan-made works since. The story is super good. I'm guessing emulator, which... Like, does it have custom Pokemon, or does it only have us up to a certain generation, out of curiosity?
Hostilities eliminated, that said.
Yeah, they were from Russia, so...
I can't believe we're seeing creatures from an entirely different Lostbelt here. This is too bizarre to be a coincidence.
I mean, theoretically, maybe maybe at the time of Russia's Lostbelt collapse, China started to encroach upon its territory and thus drew a little bit of the Russian Lostbelt creatures into China? Theoretically, because, I mean, the two are very close to one another on a geographical scale. So, I mean, that could be what happened. Is, as Russia was collapsing, China started to encroach upon its territory, because they are expanding, and it sucked some of Russian Lostbelt's enemies into it. Maybe. Maybe we'll see a Yaga. Who knows? That is a far better story than most of the actual Pokemon games. I mean, most of the Pokemon games have a pretty basic story, so that's not too hard. I think the Sun and Moon ones have had the best story of all the Pokemon games, personally.
You there, have you seen creatures like this before?
No way, I've never seen a monster like that in my life. Me neither. The worst things we've seen until now were wild boars the supervisor used to chase off.
If we'd run into those things before, we'd probably be dead now.
Don't worry, we'll help you for as long as we're here. It's the least we can do to make up for ruining your field, right, Master?
Of course. I'm not going to say it has anything to do with us, because we don't know that.
What are you two saying? We didn't come here to serve as village's bodyguards.
No, Miss Carlisle is correct. Those Chris shots should not be present here. If they made a sudden appearance, we should investigate it.
I feel like we're getting distracted. Weren't we supposed to be looking for a plant? How are you feeling, Soul?
Short of breath. You're right, your vital signs are all looking good too, so your condition is definitely not too serious just yet. We've still got to keep a close eye on it, of course, but I don't think we need to worry about it too much just now.
No new Pokemon in Insurgents? Okay, so it's only up to a certain generation then.
I must say you were looking a tad pale, Commander. Are you sure you won't lie down in the command room?
Oh, be quiet. I just have a little heartburn from eating too much cake, that's all. I'm in perfectly good health, I'll have you know. If a third-rate mage can handle this poison without a problem, then of course I can too.
And then aside, we're still closer to getting our bearings here, and even with the local sharing.
Our first order of business is gathering as much information as possible, otherwise we have no way of knowing where to even begin.
Where to begin? How about we begin with finding Koyan, like we originally planned?
A fair point. I sincerely doubt she came here on a lark. Well, then how do we track her down? We'll never find her if we merely walk around without a plan, after all. Given that this is a Lostbelt, we know there must be a scriptor guarding its tree of emptiness somewhere.
And just like in Scandinavia, this Lostbelt tree doesn't seem to be visible.
Yes, that concerns me too. The Russian tree was so large as to be visible from 100 kilometers away. The fact that we cannot see it here means that it must be disguised as it was in Scandinavia. And that in turn means this Lostbelt's king understands that it is something to best kept hidden.
There's a new form? Ooh, a new form. Interesting. What kind of form? And up till Kalos. So up until X and Y. That's a fair cast, Pokemon.
Of course, if they so wished, a fairy or sage could make a mountain disappear with relative ease.
I really don't want to imagine going up against someone like that, but given everything so far...
Indeed, even if we were to capture Koyan today, we simply cannot leave this Lostbelt behind. As long as it exists, it remains a threat to proper human history. Sooner or later, we'll need to face the crypto responsible for it.
All the more reason for us to hurry along with our investigation. You're all being far too generous, agreeing to be the village's bodyguard.
Delta forms for certain legendaries and others, and primal forms. Okay. Primal forms, I know Primal Groudon and Primal Kyogre. Delta form, though, that doesn't sound too familiar off the top of my head. Or it's an obscure thing. Plot twist, the tree is the Great Wall of China. But that would be... Okay, it's new, but wouldn't that mean the tree is growing sideways along the ground? And that's not healthy for a tree to be growing sideways. I mean, I know, I've tried growing a tree sideways, it just doesn't work. Even though it's path of least resistance, it just doesn't want to grow. Mainly because the soil has a hard time staying in. Though I imagine... You know, I do want... Now you've got me thinking, Outlaw. If there's a firm enough like deep enough soil on the side of a mountain, enough to a point where you could safely plant a tree in, so it would be horizontal to the ground, how big would it grow before it starts to fall under its own weight? And like, or like, would it only grow sideways a little bit and then start curving upwards? Huh. That's a thought. I don't really have the resources to try such a thing, but it's a thought. It's unique to insurgents. Okay, interesting. What kind of form change is it?
I mean, I can understand how scared those villagers would be if the curse shot were suddenly attack again, but...
Sure, Mr. Godolph, this is all part of our investigation.
What was that?
I do indeed.
It's safe to assume that these hostile creatures are the same type of demonic beasts we fought in Russia. Think back to when we first learned about them. The Christ shot are demon beasts that originate in the Russian Lostbelt and possess numerous characteristics that let them survive in the frigid environment. But this Lostbelt is far too warm for such creatures.
Well, now I get it, so that's why Mash and Soul agree to help.
Right, this has everything to do with us. The fact that those creatures showed up in a different Lostbelt could only mean that someone brought them here.
Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. So Koyan brought them here. Wait, level 113? Question mark. I'm guessing you can go beyond level 100. And do you mind posting a picture of this Delta Venusaur, Mega Delta Venusaur? Because that sounds like a mouthful. Max level is 120. Interesting.
Since we can of course eliminate ourselves as suspects, that only leaves one possibility.
Tamamovich.
Precisely. A more astute injection, Mr. Soul. Watson would have been very proud. Finding Koyan remains our priority, but at the moment we have far too little information to act on. If anything, the Krishot appearance is our only real lead so far. We cannot afford to overlook it.
Hey, can I just say something? I sent out a surveillance drone toward the capital and I discovered something interesting.
Oh, was there actually a city out that way?
I tried zooming in and cleaning up the long-range footage as best I could, and, well, it's easier if you just take a look.
Well, that's definitely the tree, and that is a unique creature. Is that shiny as well, or are Delta forms just naturally in different colors? Because that's actually kind of weird looking. I mean, I can still see Venusaur in it, but like, yeesh, that's kind of weird. But yeah, you can definitely see the roots of the tree there.
Once I'm genuinely at a loss for words.
So much for civilization ever developing here. If they've got this science and engineering know how to build a metropolis like this, then they've come a long way. They've come way farther technologically than we thought. I mean, there's not a single support column holding this thing up, so they obviously figured out how to make it float.
Except for, the fact that there's very clearly a tree. It's not grass poison anymore. That's odd.
And since it's clearly no giant air bladder or the like, I've got to wonder just the hell they're making something that heavy float.
Perhaps Magecraft is even more openly here, either that or they have really advanced scientifically to the point where they can control gravity. In the latter case, they would be well ahead of proper human history, at least in terms of technology.
Oh, and while I was at it, I grabbed some footage of that weirdly perfectly straight line in the sky too. Here is at max magnification.
It's a chain. Genetic mutations. Okay. Interesting. And the shiny, that oddly enough looks more like normal Venusaur. Also, does that thing have a third eye at the very center of its forehead? This looks like a chain link or tail.
Well, for starters, it's about 2,000 kilometers above us, so it's barely in low orbit. By my estimates, it's more than 5 kilometers wide. That's not even the best part. It stretches along the entire observable sky of the Lostbelt. Wow.
And how come we didn't see it before entering this Lostbelt? If it's 2,000 kilometers up, that's gotta put it above the storm clouds, right?
That must mean the Lostbelt's borders prevent anything within being seen with storm or no. Anything built during their history, no matter how big it might be, is impossible to observe from the outside. Forget measuring size and mass. From the outside, there's no way to even know it exists at all.
Wow, that is different. Good gracious.
Even now that we can observe it, I have no idea what it is or what it's for. If people of this world build it by themselves, that raises even more questions.
I'll say, how can something like that exist when life in the farming village is so primitive?
I kept flying the drone in every direction, but I didn't see any other buildings or structures even remotely close to the scope of the capital.
That's very gentle. Like, the normal Delta Venus was kind of like glaring on the eyes, but...
East, west, north, south, there was nothing but fields everywhere I looked.
Seriously? Man, I can't tell if this place is way ahead of the proper human history or way behind it.
Whatever is taking place here no doubt stems from this world's deviation from proper human history. Da Vinci, I trust you can determine the capital's latitude and longitude from here. What happens when you map to the China we know?
Random Pokemon from Gen 1 to Gen 6.
Bisharp. Is there a record of a capital city dating back to a well-known dynasty there?
Well, you already figured that out. I wanted to keep you all in suspense a little longer.
I can simply understand the desire for a dramatic reveal of your information. Under the present circumstances, however, I'm afraid we were reliant on you for such inquiries, so please give us your information now.
Yeah, you made your point. Based on its distance from our present location, it corresponds to proper human history's Jianyang Prefecture. Jianyang, isn't that...
Indeed, it dates back to the Qin dynasty.
Qin? That was before the Three Kingdoms era, wasn't it? Does that mean it even predates Yang Yu and Liu Bang?
That's right, the Qin dynasty was a major empire around 200 BC, and it's known for being the dynasty of China's first emperor. It was the country ruled by the great Qin Shi Huang.
Is that Mothman? I'm pretty... That name sounds familiar. I'm pretty sure that's Mothman. So that is Chaldea, your enemy.
Yes, but not only are they my sworn enemy, they also command a threat to the safety of your empire. Namely, heroic spirits.
We see. Indeed, we see. We were quite surprised when you first told us of them. You said this master can summon an army of the great heroes from the past, correct? You find this difficult to credit, indeed. We are certain you would not lie to us, but how could you mere soldiers hope to overturn our eternal reign? We cannot even imagine the possibility.
You underestimate heroic spirits at your own peril. Those whose souls are offered to the counterforce are given tremendous power to ensure the continuation of humanity. Trust me when I say that a single servant is easily the equivalent of 1,000 ordinary soldiers.
So this Alaya you spoke of, you said it is the sum total of human consciousness. This sounds like a pure nonsense to us. Is this the manner of thing you simply accept in your own world?
You make an excellent point, Your Imperial Majesty. My world is a bit more chaotic and less complete than yours.
It must have been if something so preposterous as resurrecting dead heroic spirits to fight in one's place is considered normal. We cannot help but wonder how a world where such things was necessary to maintain your order could have lasted.
Damn it, Koyan, why you gotta be an enemy? God damn it. I don't know if you hear me, J6, but I did say Bisharp. But damn it, Koyan, why you gotta be an enemy? I like how her belly window very clearly has the fox head shape there. Very, very strategic placement of the tips of those ears, I'm sure. Damn, why do the enemies always have to be so hot?
I must warn you too, Your Imperial Majesty, the Master of Chaldea is an enemy you cannot afford to ignore.
Alright, we had forgotten that you are from the same world as Akuta Komenskaya.
My name is Koyanskaya, Your Imperial Majesty. Do you think you could try to remember this time?
Watch your tongue when you're speaking to the Emperor, wretch. No matter, these visitors come from a world beyond our domain. Force our customs elude them.
Thank you, Your Imperial Majesty. I do understand you may find it rude and presumptuous of me to warn one so omnipotent as you. But the fact is, Chaldea has already brought us strange creatures with them to threaten your people's safety. I suppose it's quite a problem for your quarantine as well. Sure you don't want them to get away with this. Please, your Imperial Majesty, we merely wait for them to reveal their true barbaric nature. It'll be too late.
If it is so important to you, then why have you not done something about it yourself? You command these servant puppets as well, do you not?
Yes, I do. If you would forgive me for disturbing your eternal paradise, I can summon one right now.
Very well, show us exactly what these warriors from another world are capable of.
Yes, your Imperial Majesty.
She seems rather subservient.
This Emperor is a bit much more laid back than I thought. I expect a little bit more eagerness to take down the threats to the Empire. I'd hope for the same. Nothing ever seems to go as planned with the Emperor, but, oh well, that isn't going to change. Well, sorry you ended up having to do all the work having to do all the work in consequence.
Koya equals Tama. Oh yeah, she is definitely a Tamamo. She is one of the Tamamo 9. Most definitely one of the Tamamo 9.
I do hope it won't take you too long to finish them off. Is that all you have to say for yourself after the trouble you caused? Please don't glare at me like that, Akuda. You're going to make me cry. We're on the same side in all of this. Besides, isn't the Master of Chaldea ever equipped a sworn enemy? Of course, you could have lured him into any of the other territories, and any would have made him be sure to finish him off. I'd go so far as to say one of them would be a better pick for this kind of work than me. So why'd you have to bring them to China? They're only here because they were following you, right? Thank you oh so much for that. Aw, don't be so hard on yourself, Akuda. I really thought you'd be the best fit for the job, seeing how you're so good at defense and all. You see, I actually tried to assassinate him as a favor to Beryl, but I'm afraid things didn't go exactly as planned. See, the poison I use is called I'm not going to pronounce that, and, well, I don't suppose you already know what it is, do you? You're unbelievable. Yes, you do know about it. You're one smart cookie, aren't you? In that case, you can see where this is going, right? Including what they're trying to do to find an antidote. Koyan, did you do this on purpose? No, I didn't. This time I only had about 10% of a plan. That's why I wasted no time coming to warn you, Akuda. I wanted to take responsibility, you see. I mean, Chaldea's got the world's greatest inventor and greatest detective on their side now, right? I knew it wouldn't take them long at all to figure out where the poison came from. So I thought instead of wasting time trying to sweep this under the rug, it would be much better to fortify our defenses now. So here I am warning you about the danger of taking responsibility. It's not like you and I are complete strangers, right? So I thought I could help you with getting rid of the Chaldea. Besides, we're both misanthropic outcasts. It only makes sense for us to join forces, don't you think? True. That much I know we have in common. But that still doesn't explain why you brought these dangerous pets of yours along. Pets perish the thought. They have their dignity, at least as far as wild animals go. So you didn't order them to go around killing people? Of course not. Why would I rob myself the pleasure of torturing and killing humans? No, they're just doing their best to survive and find food in an environment they're not used to. Don't you find that far more endearing than a bunch of defanged livestock like this nation's people? That's not the problem, and you know it. How could you set demonic boost from another Lostbelt loosed here? If the Emperor finds out you're the one responsible for them, you'll find yourself in real trouble. Oh, that? You might see it's just part of a lifelong project of mine. For me, don't worry, I promise I won't make any trouble for you. You have your own life's work you're devoted yourself to, don't you, Akuda? So I think we'll both be happy if we just stay out of each other's way. Fine, what's done is done after all. There's no way I'm letting Chaldea mess up my nice, stable Lostbelt. Don't you dare go easy on them, Saber.
As you wish, Master. I promise I won't let you down.
Huh? Why didn't you summon him? I can tell he's got a beautiful face under that mask, too. No fair, Akuda. How come you're the only one who gets a certified hottie working for...
Well, Koyan still clearly has the thirstiness of a Tama. She definitely still has that thirstiness going for her.
That's not why he's here. Just shut up and shut up already, you damn fox.
And even Akuda's embarrassed. Interesting. The Prince of Landling must be quite the Chad face. Or quite the pretty way, at least.